What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that has been on my mind for a while, but I didn't really know how to talk about it. But a lot of you kind of forced me to want to talk about it because you saw a video that went viral on Instagram. And unfortunately, a lot of the information being discussed in that video was just flat out false, if not dangerous for the garden. And it was really being sold as kind of a quick tip for the garden. And I got to thinking about it. I thought, all right, I know that not everybody is going to love what I have to say, but at my core, I still have to talk about it because MIgardener is not about necessarily pleasing everybody. I know I can't please everybody, but I also want to make sure that I'm always promoting true and helpful information that you can take out into your garden and literally see results with that day, or at least put into place that day that you hopefully will see results in the near future. And so it's not stuff that's meant to get clicks and views. It's not meant to be viral. If a video gets 1 million views, whoa, awesome. We had a couple videos get 1 million views. I didn't go into it expecting 1 million views. I expect 1 view. I just want 1 view to help 1 person. The rest is fine. And so I've always taken that approach, but sometimes there are people that don't have necessarily your garden's best interest in mind when they produce content. And whether they knowingly mislead or unknowingly mislead, both I think are bad, but one is worse than the other. But regardless of how bad something is, what I want to do is help you to decipher between fact and fiction in the garden so that you don't have an anecdotally powered garden. And I'll kind of explain what that means right now. So the idea of an anecdote is essentially you're doing something and you're seeing results, but the results are not necessarily connected to the exact reason of why you're doing something. I'll give you an example basically. If you were feeling sick, you had a stomach ache, and someone said, well, drink sugar water. Okay, so you drink sugar water and your stomach ache goes away. Well, was it the sugar water, right? You don't necessarily know if it's the sugar water, but because the sugar water was drank around the same time that your stomach ache went away, you could say, well, the sugar water worked. The thing is, that's a very isolated incident that doesn't have a whole lot of, it doesn't have a really large sample size, a lot of instances where that was the case to trial if that actually does have a correlation, right? Because they always say correlation does not equal causation. Essentially what that means is just that. If you have, let's say, a green plant and someone said, or a yellow plant that might need nitrogen, and someone says, well, throw an eggshell into the soil and your plant starts to green up. Okay, well, that seems like it worked. My plant greened up when I threw the eggshell in the ground. Okay, well, the thing is that that may work, but a lot of times there's things that are going on in your garden that are working underneath the surface that you don't really realize that you're doing subconsciously, and your plants are having a positive reaction to it, and it's not because of those little things. And I want to make a really important distinction that not everything you see in the gardening community is false, but a lot of what you see that are those quick little tips, they're not necessarily 100% true. And I'll kind of break that down because that might kind of help you understand the difference between what actually is helping and what is helping. So this whole video was prompted by this one video that I saw, and essentially was saying that if your plants need potassium, is a simple little trick out there by taking banana peels and soaking them in water. Essentially, if you soak them in water for a couple days, you can water your plants with that banana water and they will get all the potassium they need to grow. And there's a few problems with that. The first one is that elemental potassium is not water soluble. In fact, it's so incredibly volatile that if you add potassium in water, it creates an explosion. It's very, very explosive. It's very volatile. So it's not water soluble in its elemental form. In its plant available form, it can be, but not all of it is going to be. And so how long does it take to get a banana into plant available forms of potassium? Well, the answer is a long time. It takes a minimum of 5 weeks, up to 2 years for that potassium in that banana to be broken down into its plant available form for your plants. It's not a 1 to 2 day process. The second thing is that even if it did break down, that potassium is not necessarily going to be readily available to your plants. It needs to be broken down then, even if it's broken down and it's in the water, It needs to be broken down further by beneficial bacteria and fungi in the soil, and that can take an additional week to 3 weeks for beneficial bacteria and fungi to find the potassium and bring it to your plants. They are really important in the soil, but your plants don't just immediately get a result, right? It takes a long time for that to happen. That's why typically when you fertilize, the plant available, ready to go nutrients are there and will help your plants. But generally, you see a slow ramp, and that ramp can take a couple days up to a week to start to see results after you fertilize. And that's the beneficial bacteria and fungi working. It's not immediately going to happen. And then the third thing, and I think this is the worst thing about this trick, is the fact that you're actually going to be possibly creating a lot of alcohol. Now, alcohol happens when you take a sugar or a carbohydrate source. Bananas are rich in carbohydrates and sugar, and then yeast. And the yeast will break down the sugars and create alcohol. And if you leave it for too long, you can actually be watering your plants with water that contains trace amounts of alcohol, and that can absolutely kill plant tissue, plant roots, and soil life. So it's not a great thing to be watering your plants with alcohol, and you could be creating alcohol by letting a banana peel just sit in water for too long. But yet, this tip mentions none of that. And unfortunately, a lot of people, when I posted about it, I said, this is not true. You should not do this. There's so many other better ways to get potassium into your plants. Yes, the other ways I'm going to mention are not as easy. They're not as gimmicky, but they will work. And a lot of people said, I'm really disappointed that you're dispelling this myth, because I used it in my garden. My garden's great. It's amazing. It's amazing. And my plants are green, and I'm going to keep using banana water. And I simply said, there's a video to be made here. They have an anecdotally powered garden. They don't even understand that probably what they're doing, there's probably doing a lot of other things that are working, but this banana water thing is just, it's not working for them, but they think it is. And they're going to continue to use it, continue to think that it works, and they're going to continue to spread it to other people. And then it becomes this giant tangled up web of misconceptions and mistruths that then I have to sit here and try to fight. And it's like I'm trying to swim up a creek, and the water's pushing me back further, and the lies and the mistruths are just pushing me back. And it's become so hard to actually find the real truth in the gardening community. Now, the silver lining behind all of this is to say that you can absolutely apply these tricks to your garden, and I would encourage you to try things in your garden. But there's a few things I want you to do when you see tips online before you apply them to your whole garden to see if they actually work, because I don't want you to waste time. I certainly don't want you to waste money, and I definitely don't want you to risk killing your garden, because some things can actually kill your garden. In the case of letting bananas sit in water too long, that can really have a negative effect on your garden. And so the first thing you should be doing is testing a small area. Like, I went to the hardware store and I got some paint stripper, and I was stripping some paint, and it specifically said on the jug, test on a small area first. There's a reason why they say that, because the thing is that you want to see if it's going to work for you first before you apply it to your whole garden. And that applies with anything. If you're using like an organic pesticide, use it on a small area first. Try it on like a single plant. Don't use it on your entire garden, because what that will do is it'll tell you if it works or doesn't. And if it doesn't work and you have negative results, at least you didn't kill your entire garden. So there's that. The second thing is know the duration of time that's realistic. If you apply something to your garden and you see results within like 12 to 18 hours, that is wildly unrealistic. Like, usually most things in the garden are not going to be resolved like that. It's a slow thing. And so if you see results, there could have been something that your plant needed that you did, but it wasn't exactly what you thought, right? So if in the case of the banana water, it could have just been the fact that the plants needed water. There's so many variables that can take place to the results, right? The results that you're looking for. And you really have to assess things that happen. Keeping a good log also really helps. I'm a huge advocate of keeping a garden log, times that you do things, why you're doing things, the result that you had. It helps you to understand the cause and effect in the garden. Because if you see a result in 2 or 3 weeks, it doesn't necessarily mean that it actually worked. So time frame matters, the application range matters, but also understanding that you don't necessarily have to trust everything you see. I think that's really important, that there are certain parts of the internet that you can look at things and you should be able to be very subjective. If you are such a gullible person that everything someone tells you is the truth, that's a problem. because that's very unrealistic from a human perspective. The human condition is to want to trust people, but also we have to protect ourselves and our gardens from mistruths, because the reality is that we do live in a world where people are not necessarily going to tell the truth, or they might spread what they think to be true, but it's not. And it's super, super important to actually guard your garden and yourself from being misled, because otherwise then you could fall victim to spreading the same mistruth to other people. And then again, it makes my job way harder to actually educate people on the how and the why, because honestly, it is really difficult to tell someone, you know, you're going to want to go get an all-purpose fertilizer. You're going to want to fertilize in the spring and the fall with this specific fertilizer. You know, you want to go for a high nitrogen or a high phosphorus, high potassium. You want to adjust the pH, like the dialing in of the garden, the tweaking of the garden to get the results you're looking for is work. It will always take work. And it's not as glamorous as just saying, yeah, you know, take that banana peel, throw in some water, water your plants, walk away. It's way harder than that. And it's not as glamorous. And that is what makes it really challenging, is the more glamorous things get, the harder it gets for me to say, that's not reality. And it's not realistically what you're going to encounter in the garden. So that's really all I want to talk about today. There's so many out there. I think you guys can talk about them till, you know, the cows come home. But if you guys want to have a pleasant discussion in the comments box down below, I'd love that. I love encouraging conversation. So have a conversation down in the comments box below. And again, have a garden, grow a garden. Just be careful about the tips you're using in the garden and make sure they're actually working. So as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care.